Welcome back to In the Know. For the last hour, we've been talking all about decluttering your home, especially for the back-to-school season. And professional organizer Linda Van de Kolk is here with me to share all her tips. So now that we're, in the last segment here, wrapping up the show, what do you want to talk about?
Well, I think recycling and repurposing items is really, really critical, and it's a big part of what we do at Clutter Be Gone. So I really think it's important to let people know that there's so many different options for them. What can you donate to schools, for instance? Your child is going to school, there's a tremendous amount of funding cutbacks, they don't have a lot of supplies. So why not donate a lot of the stuff that you're editing and going through and we are probably going to throw out, instead donate things to the school. So for instance, I've got some greeting cards here. Schools love this kind of stuff to do artwork and things like that. You can even donate things like this to retirement homes. They'll make collages and things like that. Of course, magazines are always great because they're cutting out things, and again, for art, it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. And then, sewing remnants as well.
Yeah, I mean, you find a lot of these in your home, right?
Absolutely.
Like
you've got
pieces of gift wrapping ribbon.
That's right. That's right.
Rope. What do you do with it?
Old buttons. Again, you can donate this for artwork. I had a client that I was working with, and unfortunately, his wife had passed away, and she was an avid sewer. She had this amazing sewing room.
Yeah.
And in that room, there were hundreds of old Vogue patterns and like I would say probably 1,000 spools of thread and fabric.
Wow.
Like I can't even imagine or count how much fabric there was. So what we didn't want to throw this stuff out. That would just be awful. So we decided to get it donated to the local schools. So and this woman also had costumes that she had made. So those were donated to the theater arts department, and all the sewing materials were donated to other departments within the schools. But that's just one sample. I mean, you could also donate to the retirement homes and the nursing homes who would love to work with.
So what's your advice on people who are thinking about donating, slightly used materials, clothes, whatnot? Is it just a matter of calling up those organizations and telling them about your situation and what you have?
Well, that's one way to do it. There's a lot of different organizations out there that will take your stuff. The first thing I would want to say is, don't donate anything that's stained and ripped and not like in terms of clothing, because that's not really something that you want to donate. You want to donate things that are in fairly decent condition if someone's going to wear it. But places like cerebral palsy, they'll come right to your door to pick up items if you just leave them on your doorstep, nicely bagged and marked for them. Goodwill, you can drop off at Goodwill donation centers.
I know the Diabetes Foundation also comes to the home,
come to your home,
every once in a while,
Yeah, and for clothing, there's Dress for Success, which is for disadvantaged women who are trying to get back in the workplace. There's even a place for wedding gowns that you can donate wedding gowns. Yeah, so there's lots of different options. Toys can go to daycare centers, they can go to nursery schools, they can be repurposed. But other than that, there's other things that people don't realize that you can actually, you have in your home that you're going to throw out that you can actually recycle, and it's better for the environment.
Because you're all about, like you said at the top of the show, your company is not about coming into a home and getting rid of everything there. It's about repurposing and recycling.
That's right. So there's 5 things that people probably don't realize they can recycle.
If you can pass me a few, what's this here?
Well, this is the fabric.
Oh, like we were talking about before, the sewing. Okay, the fabric.
Sewing, but you can recycle that by
I mean, it's beautiful.
Donating
it's
it to
still in good condition.
Yeah, but you can make all sorts of things with that, right?
For all the artsy people out there, right?
That's right. But wood can be recycled. It can be bored down and created into sawdust, or it can be used for school, for art or woodworking projects, things like that. A lot of people don't realize that nylon carpeting can actually be recycled and made into something else. So that's also a very important thing.
Do you have to take it to a special place, or do you put it in your recycling
There is
bin?
A special place that you do need to take it to.
Right.
If you put it in a recycle bin, they won't take it. But it's a place that actually strips it apart and refurbishes it and makes something new out of it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Fire extinguishers can
Old
be recycled.
ones that are not
not
usable.
Right. Well, if your fire extinguisher is full, you want to empty it out, and then you want to just undo the metal cap at the top, and then your regular recycle people who take metal would take that for you. You could also take it to the fire station to have it donated as well. Running shoes can be recycled. And you can take them to a place called, I think it's called therunningstore.com. And they have a drop box. Running Life, actually. They have a drop box, and you drop in your old shoes in there, and they'll
even if they're worn,
them.
because I mean, we're talking about,
even if they're worn, and then other people who are maybe more disadvantaged can use them. And Crocs also. You know, everyone wears Crocs. I don't wear Crocs, but everyone else wears Crocs.
It's a popular item,
Yeah, it's a very popular item, and they can also be recycled. So you can just take them to
many places.
I know, it's incredible.
It is.
It's incredible.
So now that we have a few moments left in this segment, before you wrap up the show, go through some of the main organizing tips that you have for our viewers.
Okay, well, the first one I have is keep horizontal surfaces clear. Because when you do that, like right now there's all this clutter here, and if you walk into your home and this is your coffee table, right away you're going to feel stressed. So keep the surfaces clear. That's a really #1 point. The second one is stop using the word later. Okay?
I have to admit, I do use that word once in a
so
while.
you need to stop that. You really need to stop that.
It's about doing it now then.
Right, it's about doing it now and not procrastinating. And don't worry about being perfect, because perfection is actually an obstacle to getting organized. Because if you're trying to be too perfect, you're never going to get it done. It's never going to be good enough, and it's always going to be a work in progress. And for storage, I want you to think vertical. You know, think up high and what's above those walls. Like, why not use all that vertical space, you know, up on your walls? Most people just kind of look eye level, but you have to think vertical. And also, it's a proven fact that if you have a space for everything, then it helps you to contain what you acquire. So it keeps a lid on how much you're actually going to acquire of one particular item.
Because you don't know how much you're accumulating over and over again, where you're just stashing it in different spots,
right? That's right. Yeah. And then the last thing would be label.
See, I'm getting, that is now ingrained in my head. Labeling, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And one more thing that people can do if they have too much stuff is have a swap party. You know, whether it's toys or kitchen accessories or clothing, why not use it as an excuse to invite your friends over and have a themed swap party?
I've heard of this. It's a trend that's going on,
right? Right, it is. And it's a great way to repurpose and recycle things and save the environment and save yourself some money.
Minimize your garbage load, right?
Maybe, you know, there's some friends that you have that have some really great items of clothing that they, you know, only wore once, but they just don't want to wear it again, and you just love it. And why not? Like, why not swap it out? It makes sense. And even kids, and have your own children invite their friends over and bring toys they no longer want and swap. I mean, I think it's a great idea, and I encourage it with all my clients.
Okay. Linda, I want to thank you so much for sharing all these tips.
You're welcome.
About decluttering your home and what we've learned decluttering, you know, your life altogether.
Absolutely.
And people can find you at, what's your website again?
It is www.clutterbgone.ca.
Great. And Linda, thank you again so much for joining me on the show.
You're welcome.
For you at home, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week on In the Know.